It is the 7th of August. This is Rabbi Levitt, Chofetz Chaim.
Very good. Okay. Hilchus Isra Yisrei B'chilas Cloud Tests. And looks like we got up to Sif Dalad. Oh, no, we got up to Sif Hay. We got up to Sif Hay. And now we are going to explain as Hashem Yisborach, with Hashem's help. What are we going to explain? Od Iker Gadol, another major principle in these matters. Okay. Okay, so Alan's not here. Didn't get a phone call, so fine. So Lou, would you like to start the reading off today?
Okay. Derived benefit. Excuse me. Above, we discussed situations in which Ruvain's report will prevent Levi from enjoying a benefit, e.g., a business partnership, or a shidduch. The Chofetz Chaim now proceeds to cases where Reuven's report may cause Levi to be deprived of a benefit that he has already obtained. V'ata navo levaer be'ez ras Hashem yisparach. With Hashem's help, we will now explain Od Ikar Gadol V'in Yanim Elu. Those are hard. Sorry about that, grandchildren. Another fundamental principle regarding these matters. Va'al yedei zeh yitba'er lecha gam kain haprat hachamishi anal, which will also help clarify the fifth condition above, i.e., that sharing this information may not cause the subject undue harm. Ad.
Oh, okay.
D'chol etzem ha-heter shekasavnu b'saif aleph. That the entire allowance discussed in Sif 1, Hayinu Davka Im Haish Shehu Misaper Lo, applies only if the person that Reuven is speaking of, i.e. speaking to, i.e. Shimon, Lo Gamar Adayin Ha'iyan Im Ha-Shekinegdo, has not yet finalized the agreement with Levi. Oh, so this is the situation where Reuven is wondering, should he tell Shimon that Levi's not going to be a good business partner?
Right.
Rak Pis Pimu Biyachad Ligmor Es Ha'inyan Hahu. But the two have merely consented to close the deal at a later date. Aval im Gamar Imo Ha'inyan. However, if Shimon has already completed the agreement with Levi, Kol echad lefi inyano hamivoar ha-poskim. Each type of agreement according to the guidelines that the poskim prescribe. Bameh shenigmar darchei kinyanan. As to what actions finalize an agreement to the point. Sheyehei asurim lachzor mizeh achar kach. That one may no longer renege. Talui bezeh. Then the halacha as to whether Reuven should share his concern with Shimon is contingent on the following. Im hu yodea she me chamas diboro she yegale lo. If Reuven knows that notifying Shimon lo yaaseh l'shek negdo shum hazek will not cause Shimon to harm Levi in any way. Reuven knows that notifying Shimon will not cause Shimon to harm Levi in any way. Rak sheme'ata yish mor es atmo shalo yavo lo shum chazek mimenu. But he will merely take steps to protect himself against being harmed by Levi in the future. Benish lamo lezeh gam kain hapiratim hamivoarim le'el besif bet. And all the conditions listed in Sif 2 are satisfied. Azeh v'ar v'nachon hadavar la'asos kain. Then it is permitted and appropriate for Reuven to tell Shimon about Levi. So there's a footnote here. For instance, if Shimon has already hired Levi, it is permitted to inform Shimon about Levi's questionable character, so that Shimon will run his business with consideration of this information. For example, Shimon will no longer rely on Levi implicitly or trust his record keeping, but will instead oversee all of Levi's transactions to ensure that he is not embezzling from the company. See below. Although the Chofetz Chaim writes that it is permitted and appropriate for Reuven to tell Shimon, provided that Shimon will act within halachic guidelines, Reuven is in fact obligated to tell Shimon in such cases due to the prohibition of lo sa'amod. What's lo sa'amod?
Lo samod al dam reyacha. That this is a prohibition that says don't stand by idly and do nothing while not save the person from the harm that's befalling him or may befall him.
Right. Right.
And I think remember, Meir pointed this out, that this, what it says, Lo samad al dam re'echa, don't stand by idly while you're on your brother's blood. It's the second part of the pasuk, which the first part of that pasuk says, don't be a talebearer amongst your people. So we see that that even though you're not supposed to be a talebearer amongst your people, but you're also not allowed to stand idly by and say, oh, I can't say anything bad about this guy because that would be rechilas, or that would be lashon hara, that would be couldn't say that. No, but you can't stand idly by while and allow this person that you know hired this guy to you know, and you know that he's an embezzler. So you gotta tell him. It's not called lashon hara. It's called protecting the protecting the guy from this embezzler.
I remember I had an incident. We had a housekeeper, not a housekeeper, a babysitter, and she was quite elderly, and she started developing dementia, and we found out about it in a, I don't remember the details. This was about 40, 50 years ago, but we found out about it, and we found out that one of our neighbors knew about it and didn't say anything. And so we asked her, you know, why didn't you tell us? And she said, well, I didn't want to speak lashon hara. So I went to the rabbi and I said, Rabbi, you need to teach a class on lashon hara. You need to explain to people that sometimes you need to tell. You know, you it's not lashon hara to say that, you know, there's a danger here. You have somebody who's babysitting for little children, and they're starting to lose their ability to think clearly. That's dangerous. You have to tell.
Ah, wow. Uh-huh.
Sure, sure.
Oh, I see. Okay. It wasn't yeah, right.
I mean, what am I going to do? If she tells me, Mrs. So and so is, might be having trouble with her thought processes. What am I going to do? I'm not going to damage her. I might say she's not going to be our babysitter anymore, but that's appropriate. I'm also probably going to help her, to deal with her problem, and I'm probably she's going to get more benefit from me than she was getting as a babysitter.
Mm.
Yeah. Right. She's not. Yeah. She was not just a housekeeper. She was entrusted with little children that need to have somebody who is responsible to take care of them. That they right. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Right. Okay. So that, right. So so it's interesting over here. Okay. So in other words, the art scroll is saying that he's allowed to tell him he's already hired this guy. He's already hired him and he's working for him. I don't know what the terms of their contract was, but it sounds like the art scroll is saying he'll now he now knows to watch over this guy and not trust him too much, and to oversee everything that he does, and if possible not have him be involved in anything that has to do with money. So okay. I was just wondering why. I mean, it sounds, yeah. Okay. That's what they say. Okay. Okay. So okay. All right, so we are so we're still in the middle of this sif. This is a long sif. So we'll go to Meir now in the middle of this sif, and we'll pick up from where Lou left off.
Okay. Aval imhu makir et teva ha'ish shehu misaper lo. However, if Reuven knows the disposition of the person to whom he is speaking, Shimon, to be such, she'imi galelo et hadavar, that if he informs Shimon about the issue, yachlito tekef livadai gamur, he will immediately accept the information as absolute truth. O mishum shetiv o laha'amin tekef al rosh chavero, either because his nature is to believe negative information about people without hesitation. O mishum yesh lo alav devarim hanikarim, or because Shimon feels that he is has corroborating evidence that supports Reuven's account. Oh, mishum shesomech alav me'od, or because Shimon trusts Reuven implicitly. Vayifsok tekef hadin liatzmo v'yaseh ma'aseh dehainu. No. Maaseh.
Yeah.
Okay. Dehainu. No, that's next. Okay. And due to his belief that the report is conclusive, Shimon will immediately reach his own halachic conclusion and take action against Levi. Dehainu lachzor me hashech negdo o she'ar inyanei hezek. Maybe it's a chezek al pi diburo. By withdrawing from the agreement or damaging Levi in some other way based on Reuven's word. Then it is forbidden for Reuven to speak against Levi. I'm sorry, to speak against. Then it is forbidden for Reuven to speak to Shimon. Af shelo ya'aseh ma'aseh garua yoter me'erech hadin. This applies even if Shimon's actions against Levi would be no harsher than the judgment against Levi. Shaya yotze mi beit din al pi divaro, that would have emerged from Beit Din based on Reuven's report. Ilu hayu shnei edim me'idin kidvarav. Had two witnesses testified before them and confirmed Reuven's report. Al pi kain asur. It is nevertheless forbidden for Reuven to tell Shimon about Levi, because Reuven is only a single witness. Kevan shebidibro hu goreim chezek hanidon. As such, the damage his report will cause Levi, Masha lo haya yotze al yidei devarav afilu im haya me'id Allah b'veit din, would not have been ensued even if he would have testified against Levi in Beit Din. Ki ilu haya omer alav inyan ze gufa b'veit din. Because had Reuven given over this information to the Beit Din, lo haya yecholet b'yad Beit Din l'chayev oto mamon al yidei deburo. They would not have the authority to obligate Levi to pay money based on Reuven's testimony. Because Reuven is merely a single witness, and the Beit Din may not exact money based on the testimony of a single witness. Yatahu Goreim Lahanidon Chezek Mamash Al Yidei Diburo. But now, by informing Shimon, whose nature is to take matters into his own hands, Reuven is causing Levi real damage, more than he would have incurred in Beit Din.
Wow. שלא יעשה מעשה גרוע יותר מערך הדין שהיה יוצא בבית דין. Okay. Okay, so the main point that coming up seems to be that if he's going to tell, if number one is going to tell to Jew number two about Jew number three that he is, he's not a good partner, he could cause you damage. If Shimon is going to do something as a result of that information, meaning he's going to believe it 100%, which he's not really allowed to do. He's only allowed to take it into account, meaning to protect himself against it, against what he told him about. But if he's going to decide that it's absolutely true, and then he's going to take the law into his own hands, and he's going to do something to Jew number three, meaning to do some damage to him that would not be warranted by based upon the case that he has if he would take it to Beis Din. So then he would not be allowed Jew number one to say to Jew number two, because it can cause damage to Jew number three, which is unwarranted. That's the basic point over here. So, okay. Each case is a very sensitive case. A lot of different factors over here.
Yep.
I mean, how is, it's, so anybody has a question in this, it sounds like this case, you got, ask responsible halachic authority. And like, I remember I was in my, in Los Angeles, I was in my Rebbe's home many years ago. Rabbi Nachum Sauer Shlita, one of the poskim in Los Angeles. And so his wife asked him a question, and he said, something in the kitchen, I think he said, "Oh, that's a question for an Orthodox rabbinical authority." So his wife said, "But I am consulting an Orthodox rabbinical authority." It was even then the Orthodox rabbinical authority, yeah. Okay. Okay, so Lefizeh, we're up to Lefizeh, the third part of this very, very long sif. And we go to Alan. Welcome, Alan. We didn't have a chance to say good morning to you today.
Good morning. What page are we on? Excuse me. What page?
What page?
114.
114. Okay. Okay, and this is this should be the third part of this section. This is section 5. They usually start up with some caption introducing the section. In Hebrew, it starts off, Lefi zeh im hamesaprim es ha'inyan hein shnayim. So according to this, if the people that are telling over this matter, I guess it's not just one Jew, it's two Jews. If there's two of them, and they themselves saw exactly what it is that they didn't just hear somebody else tell them a report, but they saw with their own eyes. This is what they're saying about Jew number 3.
Okay, so on Vav, is that where we are, or assisting the sinner?
Assisting the sinner, is that where we are?
No, the paragraph above that, Alan, accordingly.
Accordingly, okay. Ulefi is that accordingly, im hama saprim es or inyan haim shenayim. If there are in fact two people who wish to share their concerns about Levi with Shimon, shehem ra'u va'atzam moam es or Indian, based on a matter they personally observed, or your it seems that we should permit them to do so because the testimony would be accepted in based in. She'ain ka norm norm rak l'salek an kor din mizeh. However, their intention in speaking must be only to prevent Shimon from harm. V'gam shalo yosoviv al yadei saporam yoser mikvi adin. And they must also ensure that their account will not cause Levi more damage than halacha prescribes. But if they foresee she'im yagalo es Horinyan, that if they tell Shimon about the matter, say imo dovor, he will act against Levi in a manner pay low, based in low or you o seen Cain ace p that even based in would not act based on their testimony. Ein lahem shum yisron mim saper yichidu. Then they have no advantage over a single speaker. That is, if they are no different than a single speaker who may not tell Shimon about Levi because he is facilitating non-halakhic actions against Levi. It is certainly forbidden for two witnesses to inform Shimon about their concerns if they anticipate that it will overstep halacha in his action toward Levi. V'gam shalo yachka ru bozeh she'ir haperitim hanala. Aside from the stipulation, these two individuals must still ensure that none of the conditions listed above in SIF 2 are lacking.
Okay, so in other words, what's the advantage of having two people who are going to tell over this story to Jew number 2 about Jew number 3? that they have more believability than just one person. But nevertheless, if they know that the Jew number two is going to take matters into his own hands based upon believing them as conclusive evidence, because they're like two witnesses, if they would say so in the Bezdin, it would establish the truth. But if he would do worse than what the Bezdin would do to this guy, so then even these two people, they have no permission to say over to Jew number two. They have no right to say over when he's going to take action, which is going to be worse than what the Bezdin would have done to this guy had these two people come in to testify. Okay. Sefer, we're continuing with Sefer. We got 4 more minutes to do Sefer. We go back to Lou.
Okay, Sif Vav, assisting the sinner. The Chofetz Chaim qualifies the aforementioned license for 2 people to speak to someone who will take matters into his own hands. Ach kol ze ha heter de'al yedei shnayim. However, this entire license for 2 people to inform Shimon about their concerns with Levi, leish shetiv o la'asos ma'aseh be'atzmo. When they know that Shimon's nature is to take matters into his own hands, Eino mo'il rak sheyinatz lu al yedei ze me etzem ha isur shel diburim ha'asurim is effective only to absolve them of the prohibition of forbidden speech. Since as 2 witnesses their words are credible, and the loss Levi will sustain would have been enforced by Beis Din, they have not spoken rechilas. Aval al kol panim mime sayea yedei ovrei avera lo nafke. But all the same, they are still classified as people who assist transgressors.
Wow.
Sha'al yadam ya'aseh ha'ish sheme saprim lo davar isur. Since it is through them that Shimon, the person they are speaking to, will subsequently perform a forbidden act. So I'm confused here. They should tell him because they constitute 2 witnesses. And what he's going to do to Levi is going to be the same as the Beis Din would do to him. So therefore, they're allowed to say it. But nevertheless, they're sinners.
No, here we're talking about a case where let's try this again. The heter to use 2 people to speak to Jew number 2 to warn him about Jew number 3. If Jew number 2 is an ish tibo lasos masabatzmo, if Jew number 2 is a person that takes the law into his own hands, in that case, and he's going to do something that would be unwarranted by the halacha, Eino Mo'il, the heter for the 2 people to speak to him is not going to help. They don't have a heter, in other words. Rashi not slew, it will only help Eino Mo'il Rak. It will only help for the following thing. It will only help them to save themselves from the isser of speaking forbidden matters. Rashi naslu al yidei ze mi'etzem ha'isser shel dibur masurim. Al kol panim, but nevertheless, b'masaya yadei over avera lo nafke, but they will not escape the isser. They will not escape the isser of assisting people that do averas. Lo nafke, they don't get free from that. She'al yodom yasa ish shemesaprim lo devar isser, because on account of them, this person that they are saying to she'al yodom yasa ha'ish shemesaprim lo, that through them he's going to do an isser, the one that they're talking to. Yeah, it's very confusing at this point. I'm not going to tell you why it's so confusing, but let's just try to finish it up and see if we can figure it out before we rely on the art scroll over here. She'alpi did, because according to the halacha, aslo l'kabel dibreya. Really, Jew number 2, according to the halacha, he's not allowed to receive their words as being true. And do an act by taking the law into his own hands and causing damage to Jew number 3, which would be unwarranted. This is as long as they, even though they're 2 people, but they're not they didn't go into Bezdin and testify to this effect against Jew number 3. And they also, the Bezdin has not given their authority and their permission to take any action against Jew number 3. Like we explained in previously. Yeah, so let's just make it. We don't have any time. We're way out of time. Okay, so we're gonna we'll see what the art scroll has to say about this sifah tomorrow. Be'ez Hashem. All the best to everybody and to the mayor. Have a great day.
Have a good day, everybody.
Okay. See you.
Amen. Baruch hatzlacha.
Okay, very good.